Welcome to the freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Oh, hey folks, dude here, yet again, another iteration of Dude After Dark. Me turn off Binky. If I'm going to sound a little strange, it's mostly because I'm down an ear. Literally, one of my ears is acting up, so I have it packed full of yeah. No sound, guys. No, it's not packed full of that. I'm literally just washing it out with the earwax stuff. So it's gonna take a little while to clear out, and it's really just being.
It's spicy.
No. It's not spicy.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Okay, I've not fallen. I've not gotten up. Dog is being dog. Anyway, so wait, shape, before we provide ourselves. I am now currently live 555. Hopefully everything is currently working. Do see Martina Sasquatch is in the room, staring from the bushes. Don't ask where his hands are. Oh, jeez. Yeah. He's fine. He's just doing his thing. Anyway, dog is being dog, and dog was, dog is still moist because dog got a half bath because there is nothing worse than a long-haired dog with expelling stuff. Let's just say doggy dingleberries are just
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
No, that was the primary problem. It wasn't falling, and it was not marching on. It was more just a case of hanging on for dear life and just, ew. It was just it was just nasty, okay?
Oh no!
Yeah, it was icky, okay? Let's just leave it like that. It was just icky. Anyway, so sound guys, stop.
Oh my!
Okay, I don't know about any of that previous stuff that he was doing. Whatever. Let's just say it was nasty, and he had to get a half bath, and let's just say high pressure airflow was, water was needed. He was extra icky. I don't know why I'm a little dark here. A little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Whatever. I know sometimes it looks better on the actual computer monitor versus on the phone, but for some reason I'm looking a little dark. I don't know what it is. It's like my eyes are like just hollowed out in there. I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so you'll have less dude eyes going. You know. I won't be outrageous. Let's see. Scrolly. Going to the news, as it were. Wow. There has now been complete and total media fracas, as it were, shall we say. And essentially what now has come out is we have affirmation and definitely more than corroborating evidence that the guy that went after Charlie Kirk was the guy. There's now a whole text conversation that's went between him and his furry, let's just say, guy that basically was like, well, he may have been plugged into. Eesh. Anyway, so those two whatevers doing their whatever together, and So now it's been come out that there is now the conversation that has been put out there by the Utah state government, also known as those guys who currently have him in custody, and they could say with no uncertain terms, dude was definitely
XYZPDQOUH12.
Oops, I dropped my gerbil.
yeah. So he's definitely.
XYZPDQOUH12.
Yeah. So anyway, that guy was definitely not looking for. No, he was not looking for OEO. He was looking for more than a little bit of yeah.
XYZPDQOUH12.
Stop that sound guy. Stop. We do not need a copyright hit from playing the X-Files theme. Okay, wait. So, these two guys...
Look at this nasty ass.
Look at this nasty ass. Yeah, got it. Thank you. So anyway, Mr... that guy. Anyway, so it could be said that the one guy said to the other guy,
You've got mail.
yeah, so you got mail.
XYZPDQOUH12.
Okay, I think they got it, sound guy. I think they got it. All right, so these two guys getting together. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot. The one guy was a furry. So there was a furry guy in a furry costume looking to the other guy and said,
You've got mail.
okay, well, anyway.
Uh-oh.
All right, so these two guys.
Use the force, Luke.
What are you even doing, sound guy? I have no clue what you're doing there, okay? No clue. No clue.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
I'm sure, okay? So anyway, these two guys. These two guys. Having a full-on conversation of which I shall not get into in the content. It's up there on the Utah.government. You can see the whole PDF, and it's two guys playing kissy face, and yes, I did do it. Yeah, that's literally what dude was saying. Yes, I did do it. I don't want to involve you, but I'm gonna have to go back and get the gun because my dad's gonna be mad at me. Ugh, just ugh, and more ugh. Squatch dude and sound guy are up to no good. Sound guy's such a bad influence. Well, sound guy's just sound guy. I mean, you kind of have like the dog in traffic type of thing where he's had entirely too much of whatever he's imbibed upon today, and it's just, it is what it is. He gets in the booth, and well, just things go really, truly.
Dickhead.
No, you're not going to get a ding for dickhead, okay? Stop. Yeah. Yeah, you're about to get wee for sure. So anyway, sound guy gets back in the sound booth, and anything could happen.
Enough is enough! I have had it with these on this plane! Everybody strap in! I'm about to open some windows.
Cats on a plane. Yes, I know. Thank you, sound guy. Cats on a plane. All right, we're going with that one. I don't know why. Okay, but anyway, sound guy gets in the sound booth and
But I pooped from there.
thanks. I'm afraid I got this one, sound guy. I'm afraid we're now stuck in a deep, hairy pile of sound guy. Yes, bull meow. Well, and bull splat. Pipioli, dude, appreciate you coming by, man. Martinez Sasquatch, David Allen Coe, man, he has his moments, shall we say? Let's just say that one of his albums is unbelievably not PC, and that's being completely, absolutely, just spot on about how it is. Oh my stars and garters, that album is not PC, and that's being very generic in my description thereof. Holy cow! Let's see. Yeah, David Allen Coe, leave me not in temptation. I can get there by myself.
But I pooped from there.
Sound guy. Yeah, exactly. Can I maybe read a news story, please? Please. Wow, he's off the rails as usual. So anyway, these two guys are playing kissy face, going back and forth. One guy admitting it. He's now really freaked out that he can't get Grandpa's rifle back. Woof. Speaking of other, people who deservedly, you could say that they are.
But I pooped from there.
Yeah. Yeah. That guy. We're talking about none other than Jimmy Kimmel. Mr. Just... yeah, he's Mr. B-Meow. Anyway, basically got tossed off of ABC. They're bringing him back to ABC. However, there's many affiliates that are saying, we're not going to carry him. We just won't. So, there's, I think it's like Next Cam or Next Car or next something or other, and Sinclair, like the two really big names. So Sinclair has like almost 40 TV stations, and the other place has, I think, like in the 20s. So Jimmy Kimmel has like a minuscule audience. That's being polite. He does not have a big audience, and that's being very, very polite. So the loss of almost 50 stations means that his share is going to be way, way less. Literally, one of the stations is in Seattle. Excuse me. Not exactly a hotbed of red-leaning activities, shall we say. So, it's now come out to be that there's going to be a shortfall in the Jimmy Kimmel ability to say, well, I have all this amazing coverage. Dude, no. There's going to be a bunch of times where you're trying to pull this off, and people are just going to not be able to see you, or they're going to have to do some extreme ability to find other sourcing. Now, I did have an opportunity to see that somebody had made mention of this, and there's a radio term called DXing, like literally like David X-ray. So DXing, or Delta X-ray, sorry. Delta X-ray, so DXing. And literally what it is you try to contact somebody, or you try to pick up a signal from the furthest place you possibly can be, and then you literally walk over to your map and go, I heard something from here. Beak! And you stick in a thumbtack, or you make a mark on a map. And I remember hearing about this when I was a kid. Like, one of my neighbors down the street had a CB radio, and I literally mean like an old school CB radio. Well, CB is on the spectrum of like AM, shortwave, kind of in that region. So what it is instead of FM being like really like line of sight, AM in the wavelength has what's known as bounce. So literally the radio signal goes up, hits the troposphere, I believe it is, like one of the upper levels of the atmosphere, bounces back down to the earth, and can zigzag its way around the planet until it intersects with you. Now, if the wave falls short, you might get it. If the wave falls over, you may get it. You might be in that fringe area. But if it hits you spot on, sometimes some of those signals are blanking really, really, really good. Now, I can tell you, old school to new school, the old school radios in cars with actual antennas, like the rod antennas, could really do some decent DXing. Like you could actually pick up radio signals on the AM band from a good ways away. And every once in a while you luck out and you could get a signal from like New York City. I was listening to AM radio many times driving around literally in Maryland, listening to New York radio stations on the AM dial just because the way the signal's been bouncing. So my neighbor down the street using a CB radio, which is oh God, I think they were maybe 5 or 6 watts. I mean, they're not much. But he was talking to a guy in South Carolina, and he was literally down around not too far away from Washington, D.C. So that was pretty cool. I mean, he's talking to somebody 600-700 miles away by using only a 5-watt radio. Shortwave is very much in the same thing, where you essentially don't use a whole hell of a lot of power, but because of the wavelength, it can basically bounce and get all that DX stuff and, talk to people, and you can listen to guys from way the hell away. And that was one of the things that was the namesake of the earlier radio technology with shortwave, was you literally could listen to radio broadcasts from all around the planet. Now the crazy thing is these guys who are now trying to get Jimmy Kimmel, they're doing their own form of air quotes DXing, and they're trying to listen to him from.
But I pooped from there.
Okay, sound guy, is this going to be your phrasing now for Jimmy Kimmel that you're going to say?
But I pooped from there.
Okay, you pooped from somewhere, bull meow. All right, got it. Why? Because you think Jimmy Kimmel is what? Bull splat. Yeah, you think he's bull splat. Got it. Okay. So anyway. Okay, sound guy does not like Jimmy Kimmel, okay?
But I pooped from there.
Okay, he does not like him. Patriots, a ham operator, do the same thing. Yeah, absolutely. Shortwave can get some serious reaching to talk to people all around the planet, or you can listen to their radio broadcasts, which are really kind of cool. Now, considering the way that the internet works, you can kind of do the same thing. You basically just, you find a internet radio site, and you literally could just track things from all around the planet and listen to their internet feed as opposed to an actual broadcast using AM or shortwave or FM or any of those other broadcast spectrums. You're literally just using the internet. So anyway, so they're now doing DXing, which might not be the correct term, but they're DXing for watching Jimmy Kimmel.
But I pooped from there.
I think I like the other one, sound guy.
But I pooped from there.
Yeah. Okay. So, in certain terms, we now know what he thinks of Jimmy Kimmel. Excuse me 1 second here. Gotta love hay fever. Sorry about that. Anyway, so that's what the news story is with him. And those people now going, we gotta have our Jimmy Kimmel, all 165,000 of us. The guy makes $15 to $16 million a year plus bonuses. Now, I was thinking and I was saying, technically, he shouldn't be on TV, Thor's hammer. He shouldn't be on TV. Get that dirtbag out of here. Now, what I'm saying is this is such a stick in the eye to anybody that said, hey, Charlie Kirk wasn't that bad a dude. Leave him on the airwaves. Let him say stupid stuff all the time. Why? Because he's going to be his own self-perpetuating...
But I pooped from there.
Yeah, he's going to be a self-perpetuating, I poop from there, bull meow. Or bull splat. The thing about it is everybody's like, yeah, he's back. Taught those Republicans a thing or two and those MAGA guys. His contract is up in May 26th. So, he's gotten, what, a 6-month reprieve? Maybe? January, February, March, April, May. So he's got 8 months. 8 months, maybe. And then Disney's going to say, dude, no, your box office poison. We're done with you. So, potentially they might have him for 8 months on the airwaves. So, does that really mean all that much to the hard-charging MAGA Republicans. No, it just means this is going to give him 8 months to say stupid stuff and really dig his own grave and pile dirt on there and just be that guy that really just pisses off everybody by saying stupid stuff about dead people.
But I pooped from there.
Anyway, so online internet drinking. I don't know if the SEC regulates online internet drinking. Oh, jeez. Yeah, he's getting deep into cups. All right. So anyway, really, stop. Yeah. See, you drink too much and you fall. He's good at the drink too much and you fall thing. Anyway, so he's kind of doing it to himself. Now, this one, I have the actual statement from Sinclair. So I'm just going to read that, okay? It's going to be very, very interesting here. So this is on the Sinclair letterhead. And dirty little secret, one of Mrs. Dude's relations is actually like a high muckety buck at Sinclair. So I know people there. Interesting, huh? Yeah, they're a very conservative network, and they do not play, and they don't suffer fools. They just don't. Anyway, so on the company letterhead, as it were, Sinclair says Kimmel suspension is not enough, calls on the FCC and ABC to take additional action. Sinclair's ABC stations to air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk during the Jimmy Kimmel live time slot on Friday. So the day he returns. Monday, September 17. Notice I said Maryland. Notice I said I know people who like work there. Like Maryland. Yeah, like they're local to me. September 17th, 2025, Sinclair Nation's largest ABC affiliate group. Oh, that's going to hurt. Objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I did say the A word. So you know what, YouTube? You're not going to edit that one out, okay? I'm going to say the A word because I'm actually quoting a letter from somebody other than myself. As discussed with ABC earlier today, Sinclair decided to indefinitely preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live beginning tonight. They're not saying only for a couple months. They're not only saying just for tonight. They're not only saying, you know, you were bad. No, they're saying indefinitely, like done deal. Dead duck, no quack. Let's see. Suspended production of Jimmy Kimmel Live. Mr. Kimmel's remarks inappropriate, deeply insensitive at a critical moment for our country. Vice Chairman Jason Smith. That's not the relation. Quote, we believe broadcasters have responsibility to educate and elevate respectful, constructive dialogue in our communities. We appreciate FCC Chairman Carr's remarks today, and the incident highlights the critical need for FCC to take immediate regulatory action to address control held over local broadcasters by the big national networks. Okay, here's the thing. If you are fully in the bag with one political party or the other, you're not addressing good and correct mission statement by the FCC. Oops. Sinclair's ABC stations will air a special in remembrance of Charlie Kirk this Friday during Jimmy Kimmel's live time slot. The special will also air across all Sinclair stations this weekend. In addition, Sinclair is offering a special to all ABC affiliates across the country. Sinclair will not lift the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live in our stations until formal discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Oh, ouch. Sinclair also calls upon Mr. Kimmel to issue a direct apology to the Kirk family. He's refusing to do that. Furthermore, we asked Mr. Kimmel to make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. He is damn sure not going to do that. Let's see. Regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the program, Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we are confident the appropriate steps have been taken to uphold the standards expected of a national broadcast platform. Quote about Sinclair. Sinclair Incorporated, NASDAQ, SBGI is a diversified media company and leading provider of local news and sports. The company owns, operates, and provides services to 178 television stations in 81 markets affiliated with all major broadcast networks, owns the Tennis Channel, the premium destination for tennis enthusiasts, multi-networks Charge, Comet, Roar, and The Nest. Sinclair's AMP Media produces a growing portfolio of digital content and original podcasts. Additional information about Sinclair can be found at www.sbgi.net. They are not playing at all. And they are saying on no certain terms, well, Mr. Kimmel, yeah, so it's not going to work out for you in that regard. They ain't doing it, dude. They are not doing it at all. What are you doing, sound guy? What are you doing? You did it backwards. Backwards. Dude, no, that was yeah, that was not good. That no. That was not I got this one, sound guy. That was not good. Hang on a second here. Let me find something. Yeah, that was no, they all can't be winners, sound guy, but that one, well, it just didn't do it, okay? It was,
And thing sucks!
yeah. It was definitely not good, okay? Yeah, no, that was not good. You definitely kind of blew that one, all right?
This is my boomstick!
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
It's an old phrase, but I don't think it's appropriate to say, he had a boner. Anyway, oh yeah, Martina Sasquatch is talking in a room about relocating, and yeah, dude, yeah, you can do better than the Socialist Republic of California, definitely. Let's see, scrolly. I cannot begin to tell you how much this is cracking me up. All these screaming Mimiite leftards are going on about how much they're going to boycott Disney because, they're now denying the righteous indignation of Jimmy Kimmel and the ability for him to go out there and say stupid stuff. No, come on. If you're that beholden to it, you really should be spending a lot more money in Disney once they relocate him to being back on and all the rest. No. Let's see. Scrolly. Oh, yeah, this is a personal statement on my part. Excuse me one second here. The whole thing about, the FBI and Kash Patel and the federal government stepped on their dick and they didn't do the investigation right because the family turned him in. The net was closing in there, leftards. He was going to get caught, okay? It was not in any way, shape, or form was he just basically just going to walk that one off and... Would you stop? Stop with the boat horn, okay? But... They were making it sound like, these guys are such utter incompetence in the federal government now. It was so much better when it was run by Democrats. These MAGA Republicans, they can't even do a good investigation for a murder about somebody that we hated in the first place. Okay, make up your minds. Were you mad that Charlie Kirk was murdered? Or are you mad because they basically arrested the guy? Or are you mad because, oh, I don't know, the family was so forthright, they're like, dude, no, you cannot live with this and live with us and be a good member of society unless you turn yourself in after doing this disreputable action. So anyway, what I said here on my own Facebook page, I might have to do some slight editing because I get really spicy sometimes. But anyway, I said this essentially. I truly love the left-hearted apologist trying to say that Kash Patel and other law enforcement dropped the ball after his family turned him in. Nope. The net was closing and his ass was going to be caught. They had his DNA and phone tracking. And the whole gang of cops, etc., were closing in on his ass hardcore. Just his family told him he's burned. He needed to be taken to law enforcement or he will be hunted down like a F-chucking animal. I don't care either way. He's now in jail, counting his last days until he's fried like an ant under a microscope. It's a good warm-up for the reception he's going to get when he's standing in front of Jesus and tries to explain, quote, he is misunderstood and killing a good godly man like Charlie Kirk was something that need to be done because he keeps speaking hate. Good luck, asshole. Hope you enjoy the barbecue because your ass is going to be cooking for a long time. So, truly, my statement on that one is, I don't care who arrested him. I don't care what the mechanization was for him to wind up in the clink. All I know is he got busted. That's all that really, truly needs to have happen. And he's kind of really done it to himself. Excuse me 1 second here. I was going to blow up a picture a little bit. I really don't want to get too much more into Jimmy Kimmel and his tete-a-tete with, society at large and, those people for and against. All I know is the guy's a piece of total, bull meow, and I really, truly want nothing further to do with him. But he's just deservedly just a pile of...
But I pooped from there.
Yeah, he's just a total pile of poop from there. So anyway, oh, no, other one. Yeah, he's bull splat. Bull splat. This one I find completely uproariously just indicative of the source material, shall we say. Coming in from Breitbart.com, Obama implies that Trump is the one to blame for Charlie Kirk. Quote, extreme views were not in my White House, end quote. No, you were too busy banging another dude. Yeah, I'm going to say that, YouTube. He was banging another dude. Michelle looks like a guy. All right? We have no birth certificates for their children that show both parents. That paperwork has never been exposed publicly. Michelle's poked out a few times in a couple of dance moves. Yeesh. Yeah, that's a tranny. So former President Barack Obama implied Tuesday that President Donald Trump is to blame for Charlie Kirk because of extreme personnel and extreme personnel, not personal, but personnel. So people on staff and policies that aroused violent opposition. I'm sorry, was Trump and his people going on about like fascist this and Nazi that and all these MAGA Republicans were fascist this and Nazi that endlessly? Did the White House ever say that except in actual quotes from you guys on the other side of the aisle? Interesting. Obama was interviewed on stage by Steve Scully of the Jefferson Educational Society in Erie, Pennsylvania. Oh, that already just smells like extreme communism in the makings. He mourned Kirk's death, saying it was quote unquote horrific. Okay, what are you going to say? It was justified. It was, it's understandable in normal society because he was such a fascist and Nazi. Yeah. But he made sure to recite and quote unquote inaccurate laundry list of Kirk's more controversial statements, including the false claim that Kirk claimed that black women were stupid. No, he claimed that black women that were given positions because of DEI were stupid. Okay? he claimed that anybody that basically got a special position because of race, gender, color, what have you, was stupid because they were stuck in a place where they really truly didn't have a justifiable need to be there, and they were placed in there because of an arbitrary, let's just say, just characteristic of their basic persona. Not the fact that they could actually, XYZ the paper. I'm saying XYZ, not the full on, but XYZ the paperwork with good amounts of intellect, learning, and ability to decode all that stuff. They were given a pass, okay? They were a number on a sheet of paper. That's why he said they were stupid. He wasn't saying they were stupid because they were black. He was saying they were stupid because they're put in a position they didn't righteously deserve because they were seen as a person of a certain ethnic variety that had to be a certain number on a piece of paper. That's why they were stupid. Obama then said Trump wanted to use Kirk's, assassination as a rationale for trying to silence discussion around who we are as a country and what direction we should go. Okay. Last time I looked at Trump doing anything, was he not doing a full 180 out of what everything that Obama espoused and tried to stick in place? I would love to see those guys absolutely undo Obamacare. Because all that, you got to vote for the bill to see what's in the bill, according to Nan Pelosi. You got to vote for the bill to find out what's in the bill. And the whole thing is, anybody that's currently stuck under that plan is paying more, getting suckier service. We have doctors saying, you know what? Not worth it. I'm out. It doesn't pay enough. I am not doing this anymore. I am just going to teach. So I am going to leave this place, mostly because that was the wrong one. Hang on a second here. That was me doing that. That was definitely the wrong one. Right. So anybody that now is a doctor is seeing additional fees, higher insurance rates, less pay, and
Enough is enough! I have had it with these on this plane! Everybody strap in! I'm about to open some windows.
what the heck does a cat on a plane and a cat fight have to do with Obamacare?
Clock shots.
Yeah, I understand clot shot. Sound guy, what do you even... Never mind. He's probably deep in the cups at this point. Wow. That was me picking the wrong sound effect, but the rest was all him. Woof. Yeah, well, rare to you too. Anyway, he then claimed that, when he'd been in the White House, the extreme views were not in the White House. I wasn't embracing him. I wasn't empowering him. I was putting the weight of the United States government behind extreme. I wasn't putting the United States government behind extremist views. No, you were just trying to silence conservatives as any chance possible and try to use unscrupulous means to silence anybody that was on the other side of the aisle by doing all kinds of crazy stuff against, like all the gatherings. Yeah, like we know you did these things. The paperwork is out there, even though, you have presidential protection, as it were. You basically were playing these games and screwing over everybody you possibly could because you were in charge. Yeah. What in the world was that? Anyway. So, yeah, Obama is trying to take the high ground and say, I didn't do these things when, I was in office and Trump's allowing them. Ugh, what a piece of, I got this one, sound guy. Obama, you are a piece of, yeah, just big, hairy, stinking piles. Oh, yeah, and you're doing another dude. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I don't give a crap. He would do it another dude. Let's see. Scroll. This positively has made me just chuckle so hard. So, a corporate meme to all staff. Sorry, you must serve them if they use that name. No bitching is allowed, and if you do stupid S hit, we will fire your ass. Update from Starbucks, dated September 16, 2025. In response to some conversations on social media, Starbucks shared the following. There are no restrictions on customers using Charlie Kirk's name on their order, and we are following up with our team. Okay, that's corporate speak, is if you try to screw around, we're going to toss your ass. And literally, there's been people who have played the game, and they F-A-F-O'd and got fired. They got fired. So if you go in there and you order the Charlie Kirk tea with 2 honeys, they're not going to play with your cup, and they better not play with your drink, or they're going to better be getting some good shoe leather in, because they're going to be walking around trying to get a new job. So even Starbucks has gotten a case of realization of don't mess with them, okay? This is not the time. Don't do this. Wow. Do not do this. This one coming in Gateway Pundit. Okay, I cannot begin to tell you how hilarious I find this news story. Now, you got to know the history on this thing. And this is definitely one of those things where you got to kind of have to know where it came from. And truly it comes from, well, classically, Dingy Harry Reid. As coined by Rush Limbaugh, Dingy Harry literally did the stupidest thing possible. Yeah. Okay. Now, the history is this. They told, and I mean like literally like the GOP, RNC, DNC, everybody told Dingy Harry Reid, don't do this. And if you do this, others will do similar when you are out of power. Why? Because the Democrat Party will not absolutely hold the Senate forever. It's a physical impossibility. So, the RNC finally stopped pussyfooting around and acted like they were in charge for once. So, when Dingy Harry Reid, and I do mean Dingy Harry, like, literally like, Russ referred to Dingy Harry, not Dirty Harry, but Dingy Harry, when he did this, they told him in no uncertain terms, if you do this, dude, it's going to come back and bite you, because literally, once you change the rules like this and you remove the filibuster, all the doors are opened. Excuse me a second here. Try to get it while it's still warm. Anyway, so Gateway Pundit, the Senate breaks F. Chuck Schumer's blockade and has now confirmed. They just basically said, you know what? 51 votes for majority, no more of this 60 vote crap. Done. We changed the rules. And F. Chuck was going, but. It's like, why don't you go to the graveside and bang on that headstone and tell Dingy Harry, dude! Yeah, that's what you should be doing, because you guys did it to yourselves. As a matter of fact, F. Chuck Schumer was actually in office at the time that Dingy Harry did that. And they told him in no uncertain terms it's going to come back and bite you. And it has. So they changed the rules. Simple majority confirmed 48 of Trump's nominees at once. No more games. Done deal. Now, there is some nibbling around the edges on this. So the news story goes thusly. On Thursday, the Senate confirmed 48 of President Donald Trump's nominees at once. In early September, Gateway Pundit reported Senate Majority Leader John Thune signaled potentially using the nuclear option to break Democrat Senator F. Chuck Schumer's block on President Trump's judicial nominees. Said, no uncertain terms, stop messing around. If you don't stop mucking about, we're going to hand it to you. And they did. I got another news story about F. Chuck that's coming up that's really cute. So Thursday's vote came following the Senate Republicans' vote to cut the confirmation threshold from 60 to a simple majority. And, oh yeah, who's the president of the Senate? The Vice President of these United States, J.D. Vance. He's the deciding vote. 50 votes. They got the simple majority. Done. To expedite the confirmation of non-cabinet and non-judicial nominees as a group and allow Senate Republicans to move multiple nominees with a simple majority vote. The GOP to use the nuclear option was unanimous and joined even with Rhino, Susan Collins, Republican of Maine, and Lisa Murkowski, Republican of Alaska. No, those two a-holes, Collins and Murkowski, they are Rhino like you don't want to know, like beyond Rhino, like in the stripe of like George Herbert Walker Bush, in like the stripe of those guys. They're basically GOP just enough to get elected. Truly, they need to be removed from power, and somebody that's more forthright and more steadfast in terms of being right-wing versus squishy, McCain-ish Rhino. They need to be removed. So AP reports, 51-47 have confirmed 4 dozen nominees. Okay, remember that vote number, folks. 51-47. Also, Collins and Murkowski right now, we're riding the wave, and this is a horrible thing to say, but we're riding the wave of Charlie Kirk's unfortunate demise. So the RNC right now and the MAGA group is on a major upswing right now. And listen to the next news story coming up about F. Chuck. So right now we're on a major upswing. There's a groundswell of support going towards the right side of the aisle. The Democrats are really going, oh, snap, we're really not looking good right now. Yeah, that's what's going on. So remember those vote numbers, 51-47. That simple majority, all they have to do is simply say, you know what, that works so good for the confirmation, we're going to apply it to this as well. So the 51 versus 47, the 47 might find themselves without any ability to stop stuff. Now, the thing about it is I've often heard that the Senate is referred to more as a barony rather than like an elected official thing. So, truthfully, you have 100 stray cats that sometimes, 50 of them might run the right direction. They're really not the same, hardcore, hard-charging group as like, in Congress. They're really, really not. But it's working out good in this regard. So those guys that they probably play the game with lost. James Woods. Oh, my stars and garters. This guy is comic freaking gold. There's a couple of his movies I've actually kind of liked. Not so much Videodrome. I never really get into like Cronenberg stuff, except for maybe like Starship Troopers. But in other movies, I've really liked James Woods. And he's just a funny dude, man. He really is. So, coming to him and basically saying the stuff that he does and basically sharing it with us, good times. So anyway, James Woods on X, formerly Twitter. James Woods with the blue check marks, so that is him, at Real James Woods. Quote, we've all made jokes at Jimmy Kimmel's expense, but Mr. Kimmel is a fellow artist, and I am in fact heartbroken to see the way he's been treated. I believe he is, in his heart of hearts, a good and decent fellow, devoid of malice and hate. Just kidding. Jimbo, eat S hit. Wow. I cannot begin to tell you just how much this one cracked me up. This is kind of one of those punchline things where truly you guys have to hear this stuff but it's in print, so it's real. Coming to a Facebook page, I saw this quote, and I was just rolling on the floor. So the Facebook page is In Blonde Theory. The chick's actually just like fairly political, very right-wing, posts up some good stuff. But she said this on September 19. In Kamala Harris's new book, she says, quote, she never wanted Tim Walz. She wanted Pete Buttigieg, but decided against it because he's gay. So much for that great and open house of many myriad stripes and peoples. Oh, that's too funny. There's a food source in Australia, and the actual local phrase is they call it a yabby. So Yabbii, a yabby. So what it is, it's just a really big crayfish, and they're literally freshwater critters, and they catch them and obviously eat them and whatnot. Well, unfortunately for us, some of them have managed to make their way all the way around the planet, and they're now loose and taking over some areas of Texas. So these are called the red claw invasive crayfish. And the problem is, it's the Australian red claw crayfish. And these guys are literally just housing the areas in which they're going in because there's really no good natural predators for them. And they're flipping big. They're not like a little bitty crayfish. They're big. We're talking like prawn. So the thing about it is if you have yourself an opportunity to go down to Texas and eat yourself some yabbies, have at it. There's going to be plenty of them. And they're not good for the local environment. Scrolly. I can't play that one, but it is absolutely hilarious. Let's see. This is absolutely possibly one of the most disgusting partisan things you will ever hear about. Coming in from Breitbart.com, they did basically a resolution honoring Charlie Kirk. It's not something that's going to change laws. It's not going to change the budget in these United States. It's merely simply saying, hey, we recognize this as an amazing individual. He shall be missed. We wish to honor his memory. So the House passed a resolution honoring Charlie Kirk. However, 58 Democrats voted against it because they're so disgusting. I'm actually going to read their names. So these names are Amo, Beatty, Bell, Bishop, Brown, Carter, Carson, Travillis, McCormick, Clark, Cleaver, Clyburn, Crockett, Jasmine Crock of S. Hit. What a disgusting human being. Glad she's getting booted. Davis, Escobar, Affiliate, Fields, Figures, Fushi, Frost, Garcia, Gomez, Green, Al Green, Hayes, Horsford, Ivy, Jackson, Jalapal, Johnson, Kimlogger, Dove, Kelly, Karishma, I love this one, Krish, Namamurthy, Lee, McBath, McIver, Mendez, Mafumi, Moore, I know it would be Mafumi, is our local a-hole, Moulton, Acacia, Cortez, Omar, Presley, Quigley, Ramirez, Randall, Scott, Sewell, Simon, Strickland, Sykes, Thanadar. I knew it'd be Thanadar. He's another one of our buttholes. Thompson, Talib, and she's a work of. Underwood, Velasquez, Waters, Watson, Coleman, Williams, Wilson. All 58 of you a-holes can suck it. Wow. Just unbelievable partisan assholes. Scrolly. This one really truly cracked me up. This guy is Michael Malice, at Michael Malice on X, formerly Twitter, with a blue check mark. I love this guy's just satire. Quote, you soulless conservatives cheering on what happened to Jimmy Kimmel haven't stopped to think about Jimmy's wife and children. They now have to spend more time with Jimmy Kimmel. Nobody deserves that. He's going back to work, but still, that is absolutely hilarious. This one truly is just one of those amazing things. You got to remember, of course, if you own the place, you get full carte blanche about anything you can say at any time. And of course, when stupid stuff is said, you really truly could put, the hammer down on it and really let them know your feelings. Oh man, this guy is comic freaking gold, absolute comic gold. So anyway, we're talking about nobody other than Elon Musk doing his thing on X, formerly Twitter. Actor Ben Stiller. Meet the Fockers. That idiot's got a blue check mark, right? Ben Stiller at Ben Stiller. This isn't right. And he's quoting something from Joe Flint, another blue check mark. Breaking, Disney's ABC is pulling Jimmy Kimmel indefinitely after late night host. Recent remarks about Charlie Kirk. Move comes as ABC affiliate groups told networks they would not, run his stuff. So Elon Musk being Elon Musk. I love this guy. He went full retard. Never go full retard. Oh, even Sound Guy approves. Even Sound Guy approves. Okay, he went full retard. Never go full retard. That is comic gold. Scrolly. The guy leftard streamer Destiny. Oh, my stars and garters. You want to talk about somebody getting... I think he got more than that, Sound Guy. He got... Okay, I'll allow the chime, okay? That was not bad. But, yeah, it was on point. Okay, you can have the ding, too. Wow. So anyway, this,
Dickhead.
Yeah, this dickhead.
Dickhead.
Okay, you're really starting to, yes, you're starting to go a little above and beyond, but this dickhead... Dog chomping on his nuts, I guess. Wait. Supposedly he's now reportedly demonetized on YouTube after calling for more political stuff to happen to conservatives. He's getting more than that, folks. He is getting probably deplatformed off a bunch of stuff, and his career is pretty much... It's definitely somebody's knocking at the door and saying, he's not going to do good. Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely getting... Dude, is that dog hungry or what? Feed the dog. Jeez. Let's see. I have come up with a new phrase, and I shall henceforth refer to the bulk firings of people ragging on Charlie Kirk, cheering as suffering from the leftard Kirkopolis. The leftard Kirkopolis. Yes, they brought it upon themselves. Scrolly. I gotta tell you, Javier Milei, oh my stars and cars. That guy is fire. I truly love watching him just fire off, and not even caring about the interviewer and calling the other side exactly what he thinks of them. Wow, that guy is flipping amazing. I love this one. I truly love this one. Yahoo was so wishing for this. I absolutely grabbed a screen grab and posted it up on my Facebook page. I cannot begin to tell you how much this cracked me up, but this is beyond hilarious. So there's a picture of Charlie Kirk, obviously, before, and he's basically, doing his Q&A thing. What did Yahoo News say? I truly love this. No evidence yet of links between Kirk's shooting and left-wing groups, officials say. Quote, every indication so far is one guy who did the really bad thing because he found Kirk's ideology personally offensive, a source said. I really want to see the picture where, Yahoo goes, well, yeah, apparently we've seen more information, and we're not going to admit we're wrong, but, it's not looking good. So I screen grabbed that one because I thought it was so flipping hilarious, them trying to just, make it look like something that it wasn't. Wow. In the don't threaten me with a good time level of things, liberals are now threatening to leave the country if Jimmy Kimmel continues to be silenced. Bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Wow. This one, I don't know if it's irony or just good judgment on his part, but Charlie Kirk himself, with the blue check mark at Charlie Kirk 11, Jimmy Kimmel isn't funny. And he posted up on 10/5/17. So, what was that, like 8 years ago? He's like, dude, this guy's just not funny. Too funny. Now, here's the other thing, too. In continuing irony, this is truly what I love hoisting these liberals by their own petards by, is with a screen grab, and because it is how it is, you got to remember, on the internet, there is, well, you know it.
So please remember what you're going to get. There's no delete button on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. There is no delete button on the internet.
Delete button on the internet.
There is a delete button?
There's no delete button on the internet.
Right, there's no delete button on the internet, okay? So, please remember what you're going to get. There's no delete button on the internet. Okay, thanks, sound guy. Jeez. So anyway, scrolly. Jimmy Kimmel on Roseanne Barr. And this is dated 2018, May 29, 2018. Jimmy Kimmel, quote, and ABC, to their credit, didn't waste any time. They canceled her show today. I am not a fan of censorship, and this wasn't about free speech. Interesting. It was about consequences for saying something vile. And you can say what you want, but networks don't have to pay you to say it. You can't just blame Ambien for that. Actions have consequences, and ABC made the right call. Jimmy Kimmel, May 29, 2018. I'm telling you, folks, these guys, when you hoist them by their own petards, it is absolutely blanking glorious. Just give me 1 second here. I'm getting stuff looking at here. Sorry about that. I'm looking at things for like work, and it is. See, the thing is, when I have like reservation requests come up, I either have to accept them or they clock out and I don't get them. So, hang on a second here. Sorry about that. It is work involvement. Let's see here. Keeping myself honest. Hang on a second here. I do want to show you this because, you know, that way it's now posted up and they can't say, wow, he didn't really say that, you know. I find it humorous when these guys do these things and they kind of go kablooey. It's just good, shiznit. It is truly just good, shiznit. So, literally, you can see, he said that. He said that. So, it's up there. It's on my Facebook page. It's on the internet. Dude, you basically just made your own argument. Moot. You did it to yourself. And now you're trying to make it so that, you know, other people, you can hold yourself above other people. I don't know if that's ding sound guy. It's more, he does these things and it's just, well, it's just icky, okay?
Oh my.
Yeah, it's icky, oh my. Just give me 1 second here. I love when these guys do this hypocritical stuff. Because it's that whole leftist mantra where, well, it was at the time we felt like this. At the time it meant something more. At the time, this, that, and the other thing. Well, again, folks, you got to remember, you do these things, and when they come back to bite you,
So please remember what you're going to get. There's no delete button on the internet.
nope, there's none at all. And you truly will find somebody who grabbed a screenshot, and it will be around. So, hey.
Oh my.
Yeah, they do it to themselves. Scroll. I mean, that's the other thing, too, is also, you have Jimmy Kimmel blatantly doing something in blackface. Oh, this is my Karl Malone thing. Why would you ever truly defend somebody that was in blackface? And why would you ever be the comedian going, that's funny. Let's do something of somebody else who happens to be black. And I'm going to be the white guy dressed up as a black guy. Just completely paint me up so I look like the appropriate, he really truly doesn't look good. It looks like he basically painted his ass with milk chocolate. It doesn't even look good. It looks really kind of sketch. If there's any one good thing that actually came out of the Charlie Kirk Memorial, I don't know if you saw the videos or not, but basically had Trump and, Elon Musk sitting side by side going, hey, man, let's bury the hatchet. And obviously, Elon was interfacing with Kirk's widow and, making good public statements saying, hey, this is kind of crap that we're going to put behind us because for the greater good, we all have to join together to do and work towards the common cause. All good things, I kind of saw this whole pissing match as just, more than anything, I think, Elon Musk was really, truly pissed off because he put so much hard labor into Doge. And he's like, no, dude, we could have really, truly gone more hardcore, done more, rather than simply come up with a piddly amount for the amount of waste, graft, and stupidity in the federal government. We got to fix so much more. And they kind of were like, yeah, well, you tried, you put on a good show. It's over now. Goodbye. And he's like, what did I put all this time and effort in for, man? I got bigger things to do than futz around with the federal government. Wow. This one I think is absolutely hilarious. Being an Uber driver, you saw me just trying to do work there. I'm just waiting for Uber to do this as well. So I'm going to say from the outset, I don't do Lyft mostly because I got tired of dealing with dirtbags. I got tired of dealing with problem children. I got really tired of dealing with just absolute ghetto dirtbags. I just got tired of dealing with these people. So that's literally the case now is, Lyft they're around. I mean, I don't know if I would say they're huge and they're, ragingly popular, but most people, and I don't blame them for this in the slightest, and I recommend they do this. But if you price shop between the two apps, ride with the one that's cheapest. Because when it comes right down to it, you're going to get to your destination, and whatever you pay is money that's out your pocket in any case. It's not like the ride's going to be so much better because this is on an Uber versus a Lyft. You're basically getting into a car, you're going from point A to point B. As long as the driver isn't a total piece of dirt, it'll be perfectly fine. So, I'm going to say, essentially from my own experiences, most of my riders are awesome, but some are just slow to come out, and the ones that are weed-reeking dirt bags, I usually have to have the windows down, and I don't care what they say because my car is not going to smell of weed when they get out. I just don't like that. And also, I don't rely on tips. They're nice when they happen, but I do not live for them. So, news story coming in from Bloomberg. Quote, Lyft is now testing a feature that will tell the drivers how often a rider tips and how punctual they are, providing additional information drivers can use when deciding which trips are worth their time. Lyft to tell drivers if riders tip and they're on time matching. Okay, I'm going to show you something behind the scenes here, and this is kind of really, really behind the scenes. So just give me 1 second here. I got to open the app back up again. So literally, I'm going to show you guys literally the dashboard. So what the dashboard is essentially, hang on a second, let me go in here real fast. Lose that. Get out of here. Okay, so essentially you have the rider app, right? Let me lose a little brightness here. Okay, so essentially you have the rider app, right? So you go up here, you tap the three dots. You have your little picture and icon, and it shows your driver rating. So you're looking now at the driver dashboard. I'm thinking this might be backwards. So unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So there's a rating here. There's my acceptance rate. Or I'm sorry. There's my driver rating, which is 4.96 out of 5. There is a cancellation rate of 1%. You want to try to keep it below 4%. There's an acceptance rate. You need to keep that above 85%. Then over here, you have a driver insight score, which shows how you physically drive the car. Are you like really herky-jerky? Are you like, hauling ass around turns? Are you driving fast all the time? Or, is your ride kind of sketch? Now, here's the other dirty little secret. You have this rider rating right here. You tap on that rider rating, it then shows you a breakdown. If they were to complain, there's little buttons they can tap on their rider app that says, oh, the driver had the radio too loud, the driver did this, that, and the other thing, the driver, was, bad directions, this driver was rude. And I've had a number of times where somebody clicks off on me, and they're like, oh, yeah, the driver was rude. It's like, I am never rude. There might be times where I basically have minimal amount of statement to the rider, and that's simply because they get in, and it's like, oh, hey, how you doing? They're like, oh, okay, well, that tells me don't talk. So I don't talk. If they're willing to converse, I converse lightly. If they're really friendly, I'll converse more. I did have somebody say, well, driver talks too much. It's like, okay, maybe you should have said, excuse me, I'm on the phone here. I would have taken that as a clue to, shut the F up. But, there's sometimes where you engage people and you're just telling them about the town. It might be the first time that they're actually in my location, and you can give them some background information. And me being a space wonk, that's one of my things. Now, if they basically like, oh yeah, I went to XYZ and saw the blah 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 plane, it's like, oh yeah, those are cool. And I literally could have a conversation about that type of stuff. Like I had a pilot this morning, and he flies obviously commercial aircraft, and I was like, oh, so what are you flying? 737? He's like, nah, I'm flying an Embraer. It's like, oh, 320? He goes, yeah. It's like, oh, that's cool, yeah. And we were talking about him actually taking off and landing at Ronald Reagan Airport on the banks of the Potomac in Virginia. It's not in D.C. It's actually in Virginia. So he told me literally what it's like to fly in and out of that thing. And I was talking to him about, aerospace type stuff. And, we were having a really good conversation. And, it was a lot of fun actually, because the guys literally have like all kinds of cool information and museum stuff. I mean, I know this area really well, so we're talking about like Smithsonian and talking about like going down to Kennedy and all kinds of space wonk stuff where I'm just like, this is cool. But anyway, so that kind of a conversation takes place sometimes. I don't count on it, and if the person really truly acts like they don't want to talk, I don't talk. But this thing, I think, is hilarious because now it's going to be a case of they're going to have people that are just like a pain in the ass. They're going to really have a hard time finding rides. So if you're a total pain in the ass, don't be a pain in the ass to the driver, because you're not going to get any rides on Lyft. Trust me on that one. Now, the other thing, too, is also because that driver rating thing, you have to accept a certain number of rides. If you keep blowing off rides, they're going to stop giving you rides. So they're stop going to give you as many rides, because then they're saying, oh, this guy doesn't accept enough rides. He's kind of a lazy ass. I'm going to give it to somebody who really, really wants to work. And that's all computer algorithm. So me keeping those numbers up, I get more work. By letting those numbers slide, obviously you get less work. The other thing, too, is also I'm not just driving a sedan. I'm driving an SUV that has seating for up to 7 people. Meaning I can run a sedan level of work, or I can run the larger groups, or a lot of luggage to airport groups. So that's 2 levels of work that I get that the guys in the sedans don't get. Scrolly. Scroll. I got way too much Kimmel crap. This one absolutely cracked me up. This is like the captive audience type stuff, but coming out on the wayside of these guys coming up with this technology, they will do these things for extra flipping money. So, Samsung has now announced that they're rolling out ads on the daily board, the color, and the weather screens and themes on the Family Hub smart refrigerators with no way to opt out. Well, actually, no, there is a way. You don't buy one of those stupid refrigerators with a screen on it going beep, 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 boop, beep, beep. I'm going to give you all these ads and crap. No, it's really easy to fix. You don't have that technology. So the thing is like, well, there's no way to opt out of this. Yeah, there is. It's called market flat-out refusal of that technology to have that crap on a refrigerator, saying, you're forced to watch these ads that we're getting paid for. No, you're not going to do that in my house. I want a simple refrigerator. I walk up, it's cold, it's freezer, that's it. That's all I need. I don't need the thing to go, well, here's another screen on board to tell you when to go shopping, and oh yeah, you need this, that, and the other thing. Oh, by the way, feminine hygiene products are on sale this week, and blah, 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 blah. No, I don't need that crap, okay? Just give me something that's cold and not cold outside. Scrolly. This one is hilarious. I don't know if this one's actually going to work out because NFL's kind of, communard. But supposedly Disney could be forced to choose between Jimmy Kimmel and NFL as a massive ESPN deal is looming. Okay, we're talking millions versus billions. So follow the money. Well, possibly douchebag might be seeking exit options and the contract might not be renewed. Wow. This one I heard, and of course now it's becoming like a major news story. Supposedly pregnant women shouldn't be taking Tylenol or acetaminophen, mostly because they're now afraid that it might bring about autism. Well, it's now come out that Democrats are now going, you know what? We're not going to listen to RFK Jr. and Trump's bad. So we're going to basically start chugging down bottles of Tylenol. That'll teach them. Sounds to me like mass cases of liver failure, but have at it. So anyway, the dumbass Dems are now sucking down mass quantities of Tylenol since they think RFK Jr. is so wrong, they have to do the thing that he says not to for a safe pregnancy. So, quoting this one female, wow. Quote, I'm about to take Tylenol for my headache while pregnant because I don't take my medical advice from a man who doesn't have a degree in science, healthcare, or medicine, and who has a parasitic brain infection and was addicted to heroin for 14 years. Yeah, I trust my doctors who have their degree. Okay, doctors also prescribe stuff sometimes, and they are not fully knowledgeable on the counterindications on that medication. They're just reading the PDR and going, that's enough information. I can roll with that. Also, doctors are also in what's referred to as a practice. They are constantly learning while doing the skill set. Yeah, there's going to be some stuff that they know right off, and there's going to be some stuff that they'll be able to do right off, and they'll be able to do it and do it. But there's a lot of times that they don't know counterindications, or they don't know long-term effects, or most doctors don't even know nutrition except for the basics. So for you to have a pile of vitamins and you're sucking out a pile of vitamins, they're going to go, yeah, you really don't need to do that. You can get pretty much everything you need from the food that you eat. Dude, have you looked at the food that you're eating recently? You're talking about over-harvested fields that are like leached out of all the mineral content that you really truly need to have. Popping some vitamins won't hurt anybody. And that whole crap about, oh yeah, you're making the fish really healthy when you whiz it all down the toilet. Great. I'm whizzing out the excess. I'm not losing it all. Really, truly illustrative sometimes when doctors basically think pharmacology over basic nutrition. That's all there is to that one. Scrolly. I don't know if you guys saw this one or not. There's a YouTube video right now. Poland confronting Russia over the Estonian airspace violation. Quote, and they're telling this to Putin most especially, your empire will not be rebuilt. You will not have the CCCP again. And oh yeah, if you overfly us again, we're going to put your jet on the ground and we're going to tell you right off the bat, don't cry to us. Don't cry later. You've been warned. Knowing the history and knowing the way things work with the Poles, I wouldn't jack with them because they're not screw around guys. Great, nice people. Hardy, nasty, good warriors. Don't screw with Poland. The Germans found that one out the hard way. Don't screw with the Poles. This one is hilarious. This is going to be one of those Jetsons style. Fired! Greta Thunberg, also known as now the little Dutch boy looking thing, has been dropped as a leader for the anti-Israel flotilla. Hamas is tired of Greta. So yeah, the Islamics, they don't like a spoiled child, mewling pathetic feel-goodisms, or just everything sucks because you guys are bad, and they're not playing with her. She's not leading that flotilla any longer. This one I find to be absolutely disgusting, and there's a long write-up that I currently have on the Facebook post I made. But essentially, Wikipedia, you've been warned. And now you are underneath the light of truth, and potentially you better be flipping nervous, because right now you attempted to delete the article of the murder of Irina Zerotska, the girl that basically was stabbed in the neck by the crazy dude. And then they protected the guy by deleting his name. Then they tried to delete the whole article. Then what happened is, slight problem. You now have a House Oversight Committee looking at you and going, oh, okay, you're now being looked at for political bias. You better start getting nervous. So they reinstated it with like certain approved editors. Yeah. So right now, Wikipedia is now basically feeling that, like that ant on the the magnifying glass is kind of finding that nice focal point and going and cooking them. Yeah. Wikipedia, you've been playing this game for entirely too long, doing the locked entries or banning people who are correcting things for correct information, including the people who have the namesake of the articles. That's right. People have actually tried to go in there and correct stuff about themselves, and Wikipedia is like, now. This is how we see it, because we have all these sources here that are completely blank slate BS sourcing, but we trust them more than you. What do you know? I'm the guy. I really think I basically know what I'm talking about. Oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You, Thor's hammer, are banned. That's happened more than a few times. So if Wikipedia gets his ass kicked in, I will not cry at all. They're well deserving of that one. Scrolly. Oh, I think we're out of stuff. Yay, we're out of stuff. Anyway, so good stuff like that there. You guys hanging out with me, and I truly appreciate your kind attentions. This one ran a bit long. Hang on a second here. Let me find something real fast. I got this one, sound guy. Music! Yay! All right, I'm going to break up this one, folks. Thank you much for hanging out with me on a Tuesday. You know, many other things to do, but you decide to hang out with me. You get a gold star for attendance, good stuff like that there. I will see you guys next week, and unless I put up something sooner, I don't know. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a good one. Equal Ring as always, you know what, you love it. I will see you guys next week, and I will catch you then. Switch hands. See you guys. Arse!